The Troy School District places high value on learning and community, and we appreciate all who help our students grow. In observance of Veterans Day, we bring you a story about Frank Shipp, who served in the United States Marine Corps during the Vietnam War.
I was there for a year and 5 days and in the Marine Corps, and I was stationed with the ROK Marines, Republic of Korea. Okay, I was a radio operator with them, and I provided them with their air support. So anytime we got into a conflict and it needed either jets or helicopters to do, strafing or machine guns, rockets, whatever, it was my job, as well as my partner, to call in and direct the air power.
Frank has been a regular guest speaker at Athens since his son Andrew started teaching there roughly 25 years ago. His presentation serves as a primary source, expanding on what students learn about from the Vietnam War and adding a face to the history.
Well, I think it's important because the kids nowadays, even though school is good, they don't really get the in-depth about Vietnam. A lot of kids barely know how to spell Vietnam, let alone what it was about. So I just like to be able to share with them some of the day-to-day experiences.
That perspective is one that will tell you about the daily life, or tell you about the grind, or get into the nitty-gritty, and sometimes give you that perspective that's not necessarily in the history books.
Hopefully they have a better appreciation for servicemen. When I came back from Vietnam, we were not received well. The warriors from today are received much better. And so if nothing else, let the kids have a better appreciation for what it's like to be a soldier.
2025 marked the 50-year anniversary since the end of the war in Vietnam. 50 years to find new perspective.
50 years, I think, is nuts when you think of everything that's happened. And when my dad was talking to the students today, he was talking about how sometimes when he came back from Vietnam, the public didn't necessarily give him a warm reception. And we didn't necessarily separate out the warrior from the war. And I think good news is, he mentioned in Afghanistan and Iraq, since then, we've been much more respectful of our soldiers, much more appreciative of our soldiers. I think for him, it's also been an opportunity to almost be therapeutic at times to talk about it. I remember when I was a kid, I was in middle school, and I was sitting at the dinner table, and I was asking my dad about Vietnam, and my mom shot me a look, and she was like, "We do not talk about that." And I was like, okay.
Later, when he was in high school, there was an opportunity for Frank to be a guest speaker in Andrew's history class. He was ready to talk, and he accepted the invitation. Eventually, Andrew became an American history teacher himself and continued to connect his father's experience in Vietnam with his students' learning.
It's a great opportunity for the students. It's a great opportunity for me to also get into that experience with my dad a little bit. 50 years ago, he wouldn't have talked about that. And now that 50 years have passed, he's much more comfortable talking about things and getting into it. And we're fortunate to have that resource. And I think we've seen that. I've talked about that with the students. Unfortunately, your World War II vets, your Korean War vets, your Vietnam vets are starting to pass away. So I think any chance we get to hear from any of our veterans is a golden opportunity.
I enjoy doing this, and I'm happy as long as the kids get something out of it, and as long as I'm physically able and my voice holds out, I'll be happy to keep coming back.